And if you don't know, now you know, And if you don't know, now you know, And if you don't know, now you know, And if you don't know, now you know,
My name is Quincy Mayfield, I'm 18 years old, and this is my story. If you don't know, now you know. As a child, and then I just moved about 4 to 5, maybe 6 times in my childhood. Really didn't have a stable place to live, and it just kind of like it ruined my lifestyle, my stable life, not a stable school, not a stable home. And when I moved to Riverside, I was probably about 12, and my parents started arguing, started fighting about money and about stupid things. But finally they divorced, and it just really ruined my life. I felt alone. I felt like no one understood. So I turned to drugs, and I turned to stupid people, taggers and people that just smoke weed whenever they feel like it. It just really ruined my life, growing up in a disabled household. After my parents' divorce, I felt lonely, I felt down, so I turned to finding love in the wrong places, and I supposedly fell in love with this girl for like a year, and I spent days and hours and months with her, trying to find out who she was, but it just left me more heartbroken, because she broke up with me for my friend, and I felt twice as alone. It made me go down twice the slope, and I just felt like I couldn't be loved. I felt like I couldn't have any type of relationship with anybody. And then, I had my little brother who I basically raised because my family were too busy doing their own thing. So during that time, I got suicidal, smoking weed and cocaine, and it really ruined my life to a point where I had a gun to my head and I was getting ready to pull the trigger. So it really was a down point in my life. And since I couldn't pull the trigger, I just turned to more drugs, I turned to more girls, I turned to more weed, and it ruined me. It ruined me on the inside, and just physically and mentally it ruined me, that's how it was for me, growing up. And then, after all the drugs and after everything I did, I always had this empty feeling in my heart. But one day, I walked outside my house and I seen a bunch of people fired up, and I knew Memory Feeney, and she came to me and was, "My church is here. We're gonna do this rally. You should come check us out." And I was like, whatever, church thing is a church thing, ain't gonna be that tight. But I remember that they blew that spot up. It was tight. There's people outside the houses. There's people, kids riding their skateboards and scooters. It was really tight spot to be at that time. And I just remember I could be a part of this. I could help out whatever it is I could help out. And they invited me to their Bible study. And at first it wasn't a big deal, Buzz was trying to speak into my life, and Pearl was telling me that I have gifts and I have promises, but I didn't believe them. And then pretty soon, 2 months later, I gave my life to God in September. And man, I just remember the experience of God, being upon my life. Whatever I needed, He was there, and He really helped me and made me realize that I was more than a conqueror, more than just some random kid, more than just some guy that was just human and went through the motions of life. It's the best choice I could have ever made was to get saved. It's the best thing I could have ever done. And I'm not perfect, there's times where I mess up, but where I'm at with God, I know that I'm forgiven. After realizing who God was and what He was doing in my life, have a bright future ahead of me, you know. I know God has great promises and great things ahead of my life for me, you know. And truly, I know that I'm gonna go to the UTC. I'm gonna get educated in God's works, because I know that I'm called, and I know that I'm someone unique and special. And then after that, I'm gonna go to RCC, get my doctor's degree, but I'm still gonna serve God. I still want to preach. I still want to be part of the youth. I still want to do God's work, no matter how old I am, because God has my heart, and that's where I'm at right now. That's where it's gonna be.
And if you don't know, now you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know.